Welcome to the Let's Take Surveys training manual. First, the rules. Our company has an agreement with our clients to protect the integrity and quality of the work we perform. To ensure professionalism, you must follow these rules without exception. 1. Do not share personal information. You may not give voters any of your personal details, phone number, social media, location, address, etc. 2. Do not share company information. You may not provide the company's name, city, state, address, or phone number. If asked, please respond, "I apologize, but we are not allowed to provide that information for security reasons." 3. Identify correctly. You may only say you are calling on behalf of the campaign as indicated in the script. 4. Remain unbiased. Do not give personal opinions or engage in off-script conversations with the voters. 5. Follow scripts 100% verbatim. Read every script word for word. Do not add, change, or remove anything. 6. Handle do not call requests. If a voter asks to be placed on the do not call list, code it appropriately. 7. Code efficiently. Every call must be coded within 2 to 3 seconds. 8. Be professional. Always end every call with "Thank you for your time." Next, campaign descriptions and coding. A VOF stands for Voter on File. Voter specific, speak only with the listed voter. Voter assumptive, assume the voter has answered. Instead of asking for them, simply say, "Hello, John," and continue. Non-voter, speak with whoever answers. GOTV, get out the vote. Codes available for this are complete, left message, and answering machine. Voter ID, if you confirm the voter's name and ask the first question, code is complete. Other codes, not in, no answer, answering machine, DNC, apply as needed. Next, we have surveys. A full completed survey is when you confirm the voter's name, repeat back the 4-digit year of birth, and ensure every survey question has an answer. A partial complete is when at least one answer is recorded, but not all. This includes confirming the voter's name. Year of birth protocol. Always repeat back the year of birth. For example, agent will say, "What is your 4-digit year of birth?" For example, "I was born in 1982. The voter then says, "1964. The agent will say, "You said 1964. Is that correct?" Failure to repeat back year of birth is grounds for disciplinary action. The gender question. Never ask this directly. You will assume and select the option you believe is most accurate and move on to the next question. Here is an example of a perfectly performed survey.
Hello, my name is Adam. I'm calling for CCL Research, a national public opinion research firm. I'd like to ask you a few quick survey questions. I'm not selling anything, and I will not ask you for a donation. This November, there'll be an election for governor, Virginia House of Delegates, and other important offices. How likely are you to vote in this election? Definitely will vote, 50-50, or unlikely to vote?
Unlikely.
Unlikely. All right, thank you. And to ensure a representative sample, can you please tell me in what year you were born?
2000.
2000. Thank you. And if the election for Virginia governor was held today, would you vote for Republican Winsome Earl Sears or Democrat Abigail Spanberger?
Probably the Democratic one.
If the election for Virginia House of Delegates was held today, would you vote for Republican Tony Wilt or Democrat Andrew Payton?
Probably Andrew Payton.
Are you definitely voting for them, or is there a chance you consider a candidate from the other party?
It wouldn't be about the candidate so much about getting off of work. That's why I never vote, is because I can never get off of work.
Okay, I understand. Now, in the 2024 election for president, who did you vote for? Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, or did not vote?
Kamala?
And do you have a degree from a 4-year college?
Nope.
And just to make sure we have a representative sample, are you from a Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish-speaking background?
Nope.
And what best describes your race or origin?
White.
Now, I'd like to ask you about some people. For each one, please tell me whether you have a very favorable, somewhat unfavorable, or very unfavorable impression of that person. The first is Tony Wilt.
I have no impression. I won't be able to recognize any of the names.
Okay, well, you probably will some, but for Tony Wilt, do you have no opinion or you've never heard of him?
Never heard of him.
Okay, thank you. And Andrew Payton
Never heard of him.
and Abigail Spanberger
Nope.
and Donald Trump.
I definitely won't be voting for him.
Would you say very unfavorable or somewhat unfavorable?
Very unfavorable.
Now, let me tell you some more about the candidates running in the election for the House of Delegates. Andrew Payton is an education professional and father of 2 young children living in Harrisonburg. He's running for delegate to bring fresh leadership and deliver real solutions that make life easier. And in Richmond, Andrew will fight to lower health care and housing costs, strengthen public schools, protect our freedoms, and preserve the valley's natural beauty. Delegate Tony Wilt is a retired small business owner and lifelong resident. He is a leader in his church and served as president of the local Chamber of Commerce. In 7 terms as delegate, he has worked to bring down costs, cut taxes and red tape, defend the Second Amendment, and support our local schools, law enforcement, and farms. Sometimes in a survey like this, people change their minds. Let me ask you again, if the election for Virginia House of Delegates was held today, would you vote for Republican Tony Wilt or Democrat Andrew Payton?
Probably Andrew Payton.
Thank you. And now I'm going to read you some short statements about Andrew Payton. Please indicate how convincing you find these reasons to vote for Andrew Payton. Andrew Payton will fight rising rent costs and the affordable housing crisis by cutting red tape that prevents new home construction, creating first-time homebuyer assistance programs specifically designed for rural communities, and helping seniors afford to stay in their homes. Is this statement very convincing, somewhat convincing, not too convincing, or not convincing at all?
Somewhat convincing.
Andrew Payton will take on corruption that puts big corporations and political insiders first at our expense, from electric utilities hiking our bills to corporate polluters threatening our natural resources. He'll stand up to special interests stacking the deck against families. Is this statement very convincing, somewhat convincing, not too convincing, or not convincing at all?
Not too convincing.
Andrew Payton knows what it is like to go without health insurance and the healthcare system is broken. He'll take on insurance companies to lower premiums and prescription drug costs, protect Medicaid and veterans health care, and expand access to rural health care. Is this statement very convincing, somewhat convincing, not too convincing, or not convincing at all?
Somewhat convincing.
After college, Andrew worked multiple minimum wage jobs to make ends meet. Now, as costs rise, he'll fight to ensure hard work will be fairly rewarded. In Richmond, he'll make sure the Valley gets our fair share of funding, expanding job training and apprenticeship programs, and bringing new industry here. Is this statement very convincing, somewhat convincing, not too convincing, or not convincing at all?
Somewhat convincing.
As the father of 2 young children, Andrew Payton understands that we need to invest in our local schools to ensure that every child has the opportunities they deserve. He'll fully fund our schools and raise teacher pay so we can recruit and retain the best teachers. Is this statement very convincing, somewhat convincing, not too convincing, or not convincing at all?
Not too convincing.
Thank you. And now I'm going to read a few statements some people have made about Tony Wilt. Please tell me whether the statement, if it were true, raises serious doubts, some doubts, minor doubts, or no real doubts in your own mind about Tony Wilt. Tony Wilt is working for special interests in Richmond, not for us. He voted against tax cuts for the middle class, against the tax credit for first-time homebuyers, and voted to raise the gas tax. Would that raise serious doubts, some, minor, or no real doubts?
I suppose serious doubt.
Tony Wilt wants to defund our public schools. He voted against bipartisan funding for early childhood care and against raising pay to retain the best teachers. He even voted to redirect millions of dollars of taxpayer money away from public schools to pay tuition at expensive private schools in Northern Virginia. Serious doubts, some minor or no real doubts?
Serious doubts.
Tony Wilt is using his office to enrich himself. He took $700,000 in taxpayer loans to benefit his business and kept the money while voting to raise costs on other small businesses. He supported spending millions of taxpayer dollars on major construction projects that benefit his own business. Serious doubts? Some, minor, or no real doubts?
Serious.
Tony Wilt has fought to cut Medicaid for years, taking away coverage from seniors, veterans, and kids with disabilities. He voted on raising healthcare costs against lowering prescription drug prices and insurance premiums, and even voted to let insurance deny coverage to Virginians with pre-existing conditions. Serious doubts? Some? Minor? No real doubts?
Serious.
Tony Wilt got huge campaign contributions from utility companies and then voted against key reforms to lower rates. He even overcharged customers and keep the money as excess profit. Serious? Some? Minor? Or no real doubts?
Serious.
Thank you. And Tony Wilt is an extremist who wants to ban all abortion in Virginia with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. He would jail doctors and women seeking life-saving care and even voted to take away access to birth control and prenatal care. Serious doubts? Some? Minor? Or no real doubts?
Serious.
Sometimes in a survey like this, people change their minds. So let me ask you again, if the election for Virginia House of Delegates were held today, would you vote for Republican Tony Wilt or Democrat Andrew Payton?
Probably Andrew Payton.
Thank you. And now, do you think of yourself as a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent?
An independent.
Would you say you generally lean Republican, lean Democratic, or are you purely an independent?
I probably lean more Democratic.
Next, we have patches. A patch call connects voters to their congressional office to leave a message of support. The procedure is confirm voter agrees to the patch, select yes, and click next. Read patch verbiage word for word. Select next and read the follow-up statement. Once the phone rings, select complete patch and thank the voter. Do not stay on the line or listen to the conversation. Reminder, patch scripts must always be read 100% verbatim. Here is an example of a perfectly performed patch.
About that
Hello.
one.
Hello.
Hi. Santa,
Hi.
my name is Adam. I'm
Santa,
calling
my
on
name is
behalf
Adam. I'm
of
calling on
Pennsylvania
behalf of
School Work
Pennsylvania
Program.
School Work Program.
Public schools start to
Public
open
schools
Oh,
start to
pardon
open
me?
in, pardon me?
Okay.
Public schools start to open in
Public
2
schools start
weeks.
to open in 2
Yet the
weeks.
Senate Republicans
Yet
have
the
not
Senate
passed a
Republicans have
Pennsylvania
not
state
passed a
budget that
Pennsylvania
takes the
state
next
budget
step
that
in
takes the
fully and
next
fairly
step in
funding our
fully and
schools
fairly funding
and
our
in
schools
stopping
and in
cyber
stopping
charter schools from
cyber
taking
charter
funds
schools
from
from
public
taking
schools
funds from
that
public
far
schools
exceed their
that far
costs.
exceed their costs.
Would you be willing to call
Would
Senator
you be willing to
Langerhall
call Senator
to tell
Langerhall
them to demand
to
that the
tell them
Senate
to demand that the
Republican
Senate
leadership pass a
Republican
budget that
leadership
includes
pass a
Governor
budget that
Shapiro's school
includes Governor
funding
Shapiro's
proposal?
school funding proposal?
Sure.
Great.
Great.
Thank you. Stay on the line and
Thank
I'll
you.
connect you to
Stay on the
Senator
line and I'll
Langerhalt's
connect you to
office.
Senator Langerhalt's
Please tell the
office.
person who answers
Please
or
tell
the
the
answer
person who
machine that
answers
you're a
or the answer
constituent of
machine that
Senator
you're a
Langerhall
constituent
and
of Senator
give them your
Langerhall
name and
and
address.
give them your name
Say
and
that it's
address.
time to enact a
Say that
state
it's time
budget.
to enact a
We
state
need the
budget.
Senate to do
We
their
need the
job
Senate
and
to do
pass a
their
budget
job
that
and
includes
pass a
Governor
budget that
Shapiro's
includes Governor
proposals
Shapiro's
to adequately
proposals
fund our
to
schools
adequately
and
fund
to
our
stop
schools
wasteful
and to
spending
stop
on
wasteful
cyber
spending
charter
on
schools that
cyber
drive up
charter
our
schools
property
that drive up our
taxes.
property taxes.
Thank you. Stay on the
Thank
line
you.
and I'll connect you
Stay
to
on the
Senator
line and I'll
Langerhalt's
connect you to
office.
Senator Langerhalt's office.
Next, we have policies and procedures. Represent our clients with professionalism, respect, and courtesy on every call. Be kind, courteous, upbeat, and enthusiastic. Never be combative. If a voter becomes upset, politely disengage. I do apologize, and thank you for your time. If needed, DM a supervisor, but never hang up on a voter. All calls are recorded and monitored for quality. Watch your tone, pace, and professionalism. Once you hear the beep, begin immediately. Do not repeat hello multiple times. If silence follows your intro, still say thank you for your time. If projects do not allow messages, disconnect immediately when reaching an answering machine. Do not sit idle. Code calls within 2 to 3 seconds. Do not stay in wrap-up. End dead air calls quickly and move on. Next, we have common rebuttals. You are always to use at least one rebuttal on every call you take. I understand, but this will only take a short moment of your time, and your opinion would really make a difference. Next. I understand, but your opinion really matters. Next. Your voice and opinion are very important, and every voice does matter. It's really important for them to hear your voice. Next. It would just take a moment for your voice to be heard. Your voice matters. Next. We need your voice so they know where you stand. This concludes the Let's Take Surveys training manual, and welcome to the LTS family.